Welcome back to the Proper Property Podcast, and I'm here today with Thom Cocker.
How are we doing? You all right, mate?
All good, all good. Are you ready for this?
Fired up and ready to go.
You're used to video now, though, aren't you?
Still nervous, but a lot better than where we are when we first started. I suppose, like anything, when you go back and look at those first videos, it's just and the kind of the stuff we're doing now is so much better.
Yeah. So do you want to tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into it?
Yeah. So I've been an estate agent pretty much all of my life. The way I got into the role was that essentially I worked for my dad. He was one of the partners over at Blundell's. So I worked for them since I was probably around 13, 14 as a kid. I used to, this is going way back, it makes me sound quite old. We used to stick the photos on brochures in the basement of Blundell's office on Campo Lane. I used to get money for that I would go and buy my Predator football boots with.
So you're not old enough that you were putting them on pigeons and saying...
No, it wasn't quite, I didn't put it on the whippet or anything like that. And then the funny thing was, in terms of technology, I got made redundant because they bought a printer that could print the photos on the brochure. So it was a bit like AI taking over early doors.
A robot, a printer took your job.
I was very replaceable. So I've been in it since I was very young. Studied at university up in Newcastle. That was with the view of commercial property. And then I came out of university during the financial crisis, so all the jobs had gone. And then now looking back, it's kind of the best thing. I'm so glad I didn't end up in that world. So we're an independent, small estate agent, and kind of proud to be small in terms of what we class ourselves as a low volume estate agents. We deal with sales, we deal with lettings. And on the letting side, we manage properties for people as well. That's all taken care of by my wonderful business partner, Georgina. And then I concentrate mainly on the sales side as well.
So you are an independent agent.
Yeah.
But you have got a high street.
Yeah. So we went down the role of, I remember when we were deciding on what we wanted to be. I mean, this was before the rise of kind of probably what you see as partner agents, obviously AXP, probably the big brand in that at the moment. And it's not against the model that they have, but we always wanted a branch. We always wanted to be accountable, that if a client's not happy, they can come and find us, come and have a chat with us. And we just kind of thought it brought a bit of accountability. But the benefit was, say, in my dad's day, I don't know whether Blundell's had something like 13 branches. Now we have Rightmove. I can cover anywhere. So we're already speaking to a client at the moment about selling their house out near Bakewell. And we can do that from Sheffield because of Rightmove. Don't get me wrong, Rightmove is a big bill for us, but it enables us to do things that if we didn't have that, we won't be able to do it anymore. So, yeah, we have one branch. There's no current plans to expand. I think I was telling someone the other day that if you see us harping on about us being the biggest estate agent, I've sold my soul to the devil and I've gone for high volume. It's just not what we are. We're low volume, high quality. There's just different estate agents out there for different people depending on what they want, really.
And what makes a good agent and what makes a bad agent?
I think a lot of it, the frustrations that people have with estate agents is communication. I've had, even just in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 people approach me from different estate agents, and actually 2 of them from independent estate agents, where they've just been overpromised and underdelivered. In the sense that what we try to concentrate on is, I think someone said to me, you'll always know what the business is trying to do by what pisses off the business owner. And what pisses off me is poor estate agents. And there's a hell of a lot of them out there. So for us, it's just clear, transparent communication, trying to stay away from jargon to make it understandable to Joe Blogs, and just do things properly. So that's what enables us to get good feedback from our clients in terms of taking them through the journey of moving home. But then equally at the same time, you can't just be lovely and nice and great communication if you're shit at selling property. So what we concentrate on is making sure that properties are priced at the right price to get attention. And then we throw the kitchen sink at marketing. And obviously that's something we've been working with yourself for a few years now. But it's just, I always find it really weird that you in most cases, you're advertising your biggest tax-free asset, and you don't want to throw as much as you can at the marketing of it to increase the number of viewings, which will increase the number of offers, which increases what you sell it for. And then in a world today where there's not many things that are tax-free. So that's the kind of the difference for us is presentation, customer service, and it is reflected in when we're looking at for how many properties we put on the market, how many sell. I mean, the national statistics are awful. I think it's something like 50% of properties that go on the market sell. Whereas when the data we collected last year, admittedly for postcodes S10 and S11, we were at 92%. I just can't get my head around how you go on the market, you do a load of work. When me and you have been out to properties, you can see the work that clients have done to get the house ready.
Yeah.
And there's a 50% chance. That just seems really, really shit.
Yeah. For people what don't know, my media business does all your photography, videography. Yeah. And yeah, we've been doing that for 3 years, I think now.
I think it will be. Yeah.
Nearly
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. But when we did first start, I do remember you were very reluctant to go on video and do the marketing. How do you feel that has improved your business?
I think it's every concern that people have getting in front of a camera. I know I sound about as interesting as Andy Murray in terms of my voice. So, but there's always that thing of the general thing is no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
The only person really that's concentrating on you is you. And I think the ultimate thing came down as, we did have to look at it and go, hang on, what's best for the business? And it's separating what you think of yourself, so you go out there and do it. So, I mean, as much as I think a majority of estate agents aren't great, any of them that are out there and putting themselves on film, fair play to them. But it's had a huge impact because I can't remember the kind of rules behind it or if it's called something, but if someone's seen us on a few videos and they've seen me, and then they get us out to do a market appraisal at our house, they kind of feel like they've got to know us. So you're not necessarily a stranger that's coming in through the door. So you've already got an advantage.
You've built the know, like, trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing and also for us is if they look at us and think I'm an arse, then they won't invite us out, and that's fine too as well. But it's...
Do you get noticed in local coffee shops?
Forever signing things. Every once in a while, you'll get someone that's saying they've seen some of our videos. But it's great, if I'm honest, the whole thing is it gets us more views. And I think the bits that we always say to our clients when it comes to the video and the impact it has on social media is, if we had one the other day, and I know people are doing bigger numbers nationally, but I think it had 7,000 views on Instagram. And you're like, well, that's 7,000 views that our clients got on their house that they wouldn't have had if we didn't do social media and video.
And they're organic as well, aren't they? Like you're not buying followers. You're not even paying for ads, are you? A lot of it's organic growth in your local area, which it impacts the people in your local area who are selling their properties. That's
it. I mean, we work with and kind of she's been a great help, Vicky at Lucky Buddha, with our social media marketing, but we don't pay for anything. A lot of it, we can do this because we're low volume, and it will always come back to this, is that even this morning I was posting one of our social media videos for a property in Woodseats, and I was chucking it in the local Woodseats Facebook group. So it's all those kind of things that just a bit of time to do, and it can have a big impact. And if it only brings in 2 more viewers, it's done its job.
Yeah. So we are majority an investment podcast. One of the things what I did want to ask you was, what advice would you give to investors to show that they're credible for buying a property? Because I know you get a lot of investors reaching out to you. I know you're getting phone calls. You tell me quite often that you're getting phone calls from people that are wanting to do like the guaranteed rent stuff that we do, and you're kind of just pushing all that away. But for investors that are wanting to purchase properties, maybe for flips, do you have any advice what they should do?
We get contacted a lot for flips, for people kind of rent stuff. And the main thing is, and I suppose it's great to see the difference in terms of the way that you and Luke operate, is just looking professional. I think if I was looking to buy a flip, it'd be making sure that when you offer, back it up in the sense of even via over with an email is sending over and say, look, this is who my solicitor is. This is who my mortgage advisor is. And I've already got them lined up. This is, if I'm having a survey, this is who's going to do it. Also, with regards to surveys is, I would say to clients, only say this if you mean it though, is you can say to people, as long as that building's not falling down, I'm going to buy it. The survey is just for me to confirm so I can crack on with the work as soon as possible. But I'm not going to come and chip you $1,000 over a bit of damp. All clients want the same thing. They want the right money, but they also just don't want to be pissed about. So it's coming across as professional because there's so many people that aren't professional. They're doing it as, common phrase, side hustles. I don't really want to deal with someone that's doing something on a side hustle because that means they've got a job and I can't get hold of them during the day. Whereas if you're coming across as professional, you know what they're doing. They are the kind of people that we want to work with as well.
I know we've said this before. You've said to me, you're not the agent that investors should be coming to buy from.
Yeah, it's probably, if I was an investor, it's unlikely that they'll buy anything through us. In a year, we will only sell a handful of properties to investors. The properties that we sell tend to be in areas where the yields don't stack up, the return on investment's not good enough. So it is rare that we deal with them. I think if I was an investor, what I'd be trying to do is targeting essentially vulnerable properties on the market, how long they've been on the market for. The thing is because of the work we do with you, our marketing is unbelievable. You want to find someone where their marketing is shit, no floor plan. Looks like their photo's been done on a phone. Maybe the estate agent's even in the mirror in the bathroom.
Toilet seats.
Toilet seats up. There's even toilet roll on.
Oh, there's toilet roll on. You've got a thing for that, haven't you? Amount of times I'll take a photo and you'll go back in and you'll go, you left toilet roll.
Gonna have to do it again. So yeah, you're targeting vulnerable properties. That's the kind of thing we advise people. If anyone, that's the thing. If anyone wants to get in contact with us, say, look, I'm looking at buying this to rent it out. We will always advise and help people because then they can rent it out and we'll manage it for them. But very rare that anyone buys anything through us as an investor because we just sell them for too good money.
Yeah. It would be advisable for an investor to sell their property through you.
Yeah, if you want the best price and a choice of who you sell to, that's us. That's the kind of thing. If you want to maximise how much money you're getting out of an investment, yeah, you definitely want to come speak to us. Our sale price at the moment is about 4% above listing price. That's based on our last 20 sales.
And is that an average?
So that's an average over the last 20 sales that we've agreed.
That's really good.
And that's, look, there's some in there that didn't quite go to plan where I think out of the last 20 sales, 4 were under listing price, but 16 were on or above. I would like to be interested to know how many other estate agents have got those kind of stats. And that's a combination of the great marketing that we do, but then also the work it's definitely not just me. It's the great work that Catherine, that Mel and Suzanne and everyone, Kirsty and Georgina do in the team as well. Because and again, where we are as a business, different to, say, maybe the self-employed model, we're a team. I love it's a bit of that old school estate agency thing. I love having a team. It's a combined effort from us all.
And in regards to valuations, what I know we've had estate agents on here before, and we've spoke about there's always that estate agent out there who will overvalue the property just to get the business, and then once they've got the business and they've got the vendor on board and they've got them in a contract, they'll then say, "Oh, you've not had any viewings in a few weeks, so we now want to lower the price. We don't think that it's valued right." What do you think? What's been your best strategy for valuing properties and actually getting that sale and getting that 4% more?
It's probably picking up on a word you said. Valuing is one of the things we will say is, "I'm not valuing your house." What we're trying to do is create a market for your home. And when I say create a market, we want to create demand. And how do you create demand? Have great photos, have video, drone, the whole kitchen sink on that side, but your price is involved in that. And largely, we're kind of thinking, we're saying to our clients, what do you think is the best price for us to this going to give us the best chance of maybe booking in 15 to 20 viewings. And it's probably going to be lower than what you're hoping to sell for. But the cringeworthy phrase is price to entice, but it's correct. So that's one of the biggest things is you've got to understand that your marketing price, when people look at Rightmove and they're looking at your property, they're looking at other properties, then they're going to look at yours and go, right, if it's 50 grand more, 20 grand more, whatever, what am I getting for my 20 grand? And if they can't see what they're getting, they're not interested. So you kind of, in a way, I'll always say to my clients, we're going to war with the other properties that are on the market, and we're bouncing your property off that house up the road. And we want to use that property to make yours look like good value. So, but that's our tactic. It's the way that we work. I believe it's the right way. Other agents might have the idea of, well, we could always go on at this price, and if we don't get it, we'll reduce. But the data behind reductions is that it takes twice as long to sell a house with a reduction, and the sale is twice as likely to fall apart, even if you agree a sale after reduction. But it's just the biggest problem in Sheffield, and it's the whole of the country. It's nothing particular to Sheffield. Even speaking to a client this morning, they've gone on with an agent only 2 weeks into the process at being on the market, and the agent's already talking to them about a price reduction. And it just shows that, have they just told them a really nice figure to get the deal? And I think it's also probably another thing that makes it a bit harder, but some of it is good information. The algorithms that Zoopla use, that Rightmove use on your, what they'll give you an instant valuation. The problem is say, I don't know, Rightmove's telling you your house is worth 300, but Zoopla's saying 350. You're probably going to believe the Zoopla figure just because it's higher.
Yeah.
So it is coming back to is what is the price that will get attention for your house? And then the kind of hippie woo-woo thing is your house will find its value. Because the analogy that I always use is there's a house across the road from my mum's house. Before I had my son, I wouldn't want to buy that house because my mum would be around my house all the time. But now I've got a son, I'd really want to buy that house because then I've got a babysitter on hand.
Yeah.
And it is just that, or at university we were taught a bucket of water is worth more in the desert than the rainforest. It's different. The same thing is worth different amounts to different people. You've just got to get them through the door.
Yeah. Well, I know when we're on shoots, we often put the will to rights. We talk about estate agency, we talk about investments, we do talk about properties. But I think one of the things that I've picked up on quite a lot is I feel like you've got a little bit of imposter syndrome that comes across quite often. I feel like you're comparing yourself to a lot of agents thinking that they're better than you. But when you've dug deeper into it and actually looked into these agents, it's just appearances.
Yeah, and I know we've discussed it, it's a really hard balance. If I didn't compare us to the people that I know are or think are very good at their game, then we wouldn't improve because you're trying to aspire to be them. But then at the same time, you've got to be really delicate with it, that it can also cripple you. Yeah. So it's that balancing amount. And that's really hard. And sometimes I struggle with it more days than others. But I kind of feel like it's got us where we are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Look, I don't think all estate agents are shit. I just think a lot of them are. And I think there's also some unbelievable ones out there. And that's what we're trying to push ourselves to be. It's every year we're constantly thinking, what can we do that's better? How can we strive to where we want to be? There's agents out there that I want to get us towards where they are. And it's difficult sometimes because, yeah, there are times when you think, oh, shit. But then sometimes you just have to go to your stats in terms of how many properties you're selling, the extra money you're creating, clients to go, you know what, we're good. And also our job is a job of rejection. More people will not choose me to sell their home than will. And that has to be right. Because essentially if I was winning 80% of instructions, we're too cheap. So we might really aim to win 30 to 40% of the jobs we go out to. So it can be tough. More people will say they don't want to use you. Yeah.
But quality over volume is your tactic.
Yeah, so that's the kind of thing. I've always been trying to find the right analogy. The one I'm using at the moment is probably restaurants. I'm not trying to be McDonald's. I don't want to do high volume. No, don't get me wrong. I like a hash brown as much as anyone. But we're not trying to be McDonald's, high volume turnover. That's not our business strategy. Some agents want to do that. They want they want to put the right move pie chart out showing they're the number one agent in the area. That's fine. That's good for them. I see it as an ego thing. What we want to do is we built our company now for, I think this is year 11, based on we know what we're doing. We do it right. And the service that we deliver is really good.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, like I say, over the few years, I've worked with many different agents, many different styles, and I've said it to you before. There's some agents where like the TikTok videos work for them. That kind of marketing is it's all right for them. But you've said it to me before. Like you've said, "Oh, do you think we should be doing these kind of videos?" And I've said to you, "No, it's not. It's not on brand for you. Your brand is a quality brand. Like I know we've said other agents out there, not to like name drop, but people buy from that brand because they see the quality rather than the people messing around doing TikToky videos. And yeah, we have a laugh on some of the media, don't we? I think we were talking earlier about the swing in the kitchen.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That were a good one. We'll try and drop link to that below. But yeah, I think the quality that you guys do, it's really up there with the top agents, and I think you are the go-to agent for your area. And I think a lot of agents do they look at the bigger areas and a massive map, whereas you've concentrated on the S10, S11, and there's enough chimneys that's kept you going for 11 years. Do you really need to be pushing at?
I think the bit we've always kind of said, if it's the right client with the right house at the right price, we'll always look at it. But yeah, it's always, we're not, and I think this is probably, it's a mindset thing, is that for us, and I don't mind kind of saying it was since I've had my son, who will be 2 in August, that was a big change. That the volume that kind of Blundell's were doing, my dad was really busy, and don't get me wrong, he made sure that he was there for us as kids, but when I've looked at it and gone, do I really want to work 7 days a week for the rest of my life? No, I want to spend time with my son. That's always a hard balance. But it was just the way that we decide as a company when you're finding who you are. And admittedly, I think that's only really happened in, say, the last probably even since we've started working, over the last 3 years. There was a period when we were trying to compete on fees with people. And you just realise it's you're not going to have a nice life. You're going to do a load of high volume, take on low fees, and your service is going to be crap, and you're just not going to have much pride in what you do. And I think that's when we went, we're just going to step away from that. We're not really going to worry about what our competitors are charging. We know what we need to charge. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like, look, our fees are probably higher than most estate agents. I don't have a boat in Monaco. I'm not a millionaire, because we're reinvesting that money into the marketing we do for our clients. We're reinvesting that money into the technology our staff will use, whether it's training. So that's the kind of thing, is as long as clients can see value in what we're charging, and that usually is really showing how we outperform other agents.
I think we actually said earlier, what you charge a marketing fee, I charge you more for the media.
Yeah. Our marketing fee will go up. No, but that's it.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
I've worked with agents before where they've kind of been, oh, our vendor won't pay that.
Yeah.
Our vendor won't pay that. And then in my mind, I'm like, but it's making your brand look good. Maybe you get your vendor to pay a part of it and you cover the rest. Because at the end of the day, you're getting your percentage of the property anyway once it sells, and this will help that to happen.
I think it's, if anyone said to me, if you pay an extra 300 quid, it might get you an extra 10 grand. You pay the 300 quid. And I think it's just the differences, and that's probably the difference in terms of businesses and who we are, is if someone says, look, I want someone to sell I had one the other day where I don't mind kind of saying, look, we have a minimum fee, but our sale commission's 1%. And they had another independent estate agent that was quoted 0.65. And I'm like, hang on, how much money can they put into their marketing? they're not going to be able to afford to do a video on that. It can also, for us, we do all our clients' viewings. We really try to avoid our clients doing any viewings. They might do the odd one if genuinely they need a time when we can't do, but we do all the viewings for our clients. If someone wants to go, no, I'm willing to spend my time doing viewings and I'll save a few £100 by going on another agent. Yes, there's options out there for you, but I just find that so bizarre that pay a little bit more money, you get more time. And also, a good estate agent is better than a client will ever be at doing a viewing. Don't get me wrong, a client will be better than a shit estate agent. And we've all met those when you're doing a viewing, you say, how old's the boiler? And they go, I don't know, I'll have to get the office to ring you on Monday. But we're, again, because we're doing lower volume, our clients educate us on their house. So we're armed with the information that a client would have. But yeah, we've got to charge for that. But it's always that kind of thing I just find strange. And I think I'll always find it strange that someone will go, I'll save £500. And I'm there saying, but if you pay me more, I mean, I went through the numbers with someone the other day where essentially our fee would have been about £3,000 more than another agent. But looking at averages of sale price, we'd probably make them 40 grand. But they still went on with the other agent. Yeah, so they're the ones where you kind of shake their hands and wish them best of luck with the property, go and scream in an empty room, go for a walk with the dog. And then, no surprise, the property went on the market at 200 grand higher than I was suggesting. So let's see if that house is still on the market in 6 months' time.
Yeah. And it does happen. Coming back to the marketing, what's your honest opinion on property staging?
I think the whole point of your marketing, or what we say to clients, is you're trying to make someone that's looking at Rightmove imagine living in that house. It's a perceived lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, and for full transparency, I do say to clients, it's a fake lifestyle. It's not real. Like I said, we'll take bog roll out of toilets, but we all know that we need bog roll. So it is fake. Staging forms a part of that. I think if you can stage a property that ties in with the size and the style of the house, it enables people to visualize living there more. There are some viewers that have vision and they can imagine stuff. I'd probably say most viewers can't. I know even sometimes for me, I've struggled with it. And then we've done photo shoots of properties that have been staged and you go, all right, I wouldn't have done it this way. This looks great.
Yeah.
So done correctly, I think it's unbelievable. Yeah. And it's probably similar. Yes, you'll have to pay for it. And it's similar to paying for marketing costs. See it as an investment into property, because that's probably, again, like when I said, like the standard of marketing is probably one of the biggest things for us. A part of that is staging. Our clients, we did a house in Crooks the other day. They've got 3 kids, and I went to their house a month ago. It was tidy, but they've got 3 kids in a terrace house, so there was just a lot of stuff. When we went to do the photos the other day, I could see the amount of time that they'd put into it.
And you do, I think that is one of the things I've noticed about you. You pre-warn the clients, and you tell the clients pretty much how to get their property ready.
Yeah.
What exactly is it that you tell them?
So probably the main thing is break it down per room. If you think about the whole house, it'll feel quite overwhelming. So thinking about rooms and vibes that people want on rooms. So say living rooms and bedrooms is always like a cozy vibe. So how do you get that? Making sure you've got nice soft furnishings, cushions, throws. Even we did one the other day where, and this will be great in the summer, when they've got a wood burner, get the wood burner going, because it just sets an emotion straight away. Kitchens is always think of entertaining, cooking, baking, those kind of things. So it's clearing worktop spaces. I don't really want to see a microwave. I don't want to see an air fryer.
that is one of the things. The number of times I've seen you moving air fryers, microwaves,
and it's just creating worktop space. You want someone to look at your photos and go, "Shit, I'd want to do some cooking there."
Yeah.
Same with gardens. I mean, especially this time of year. I was on the phone to a client this morning about their outdoor eating area. You just want to make it so someone sees the photo and go, "Shit, I want that." And the great news is it's for sale, so you can have it.
Yeah, I can picture myself there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Picture, whether it's, and I think someone said, and I truly believe it, estate agents are the best people to sell to. We buy into anything. But if I see a nice kitchen and I'm probably a self-confessed coffee snob. If I see a nice coffee machine, I'll immediately think about having a coffee in that house. So it is just that perceived lifestyle and staging. If you've got so for probably maybe for your clients, investors, if it's empty, it looks quite sad. And also the other thing is bedrooms. No, I think if you asked everyone to draw a mark with how big a bed is, we'd all get it wrong. So it enables people to go, actually, beds that size can get wardrobes in, bedside tables. So it just gives people a bit of vision. So done right, I think it's great.
Awesome. And where do you see yourself then in, say, 5 years' time?
We don't have fixed targets in terms of number of properties we'll sell or the income we want to generate. I think the main thing we try to look at is just constantly improving our processes every year, making sure we're trying to do things that might be new or continue with the marketing that we do for people's properties that keeps, I don't mind, and there's an element of it keeps my life interesting. It's good fun. You've thrown a jug of water at me and we've done that in videos so we have a laugh. But the main thing is, as long as we're progressing, in 5 years' time, as long as we move forward, that's all I want. It's always, again, when I was at corporate, when Blundell's got bought out by Countrywide, I was with them for 2 years until we could kind of see how they ran a business and we wanted to get out of that. I had targets. My targets were an increase on the year before. And the year before, I wasn't the manager then, but the year before they didn't hit their targets. So I had an increase on a target they couldn't even hit. So it was just demoralising. So that's why we don't monitor those things. It sounds, again, a bit hippie and a bit flaky, but it is literally just to try and be better every year. So as long as that's continuing, I'll be happy.
And do you feel threatened at all by the amount of, we'll not say the actual agent, but the amount of certain independents that are coming out? They seem to be popping up like in the thousands. Like,
I think as well, I'll say it for you in terms of maybe a brand like EXP, who are, in general, I'm in favour of it.
Yeah.
I think my frustration is crap estate agents. If whether it's EXP, other brands out there, if they improve the standards, I'm all for it. It's not for us. We've had a very brief look at it, and it's not for us, but there's many ways of doing it.
Do you feel like there's a lot of people jumping onto the EXP, Keller Williams, that have never even stepped foot in an agency before? They've never been an estate agent. They've got no experience, but they're jumping straight in.
Potentially, I think if someone came to me and said, I want to start an estate agency, I probably would say, go and work for a corporate for 2 years, a couple of years, go and learn how it works, go and make mistakes, because you will make mistakes. I even look at where we were in year one of our business, and like where we are now, we were crap back then, and we made mistakes. I think you got to remember, if someone came around my house, would I sell it through someone that's never sold a house before or never had any industry experience? No. But I think there's also, I can definitely understand, because we were one of them, that there's people working for corporates or other estate agents that feel underpaid and undervalued. But I think my worry slightly is that I think there are certain companies out there selling a dream that you can go and work 2 hours a day, still pick up your kids from school, go on holiday, and you'll earn really good money. You won't. Like, I was at a viewing on Sunday. That's part of the gig. It's that there will always be that balancing act with family life and personal life, but the dream doesn't exist. Essentially, you might look at a model like America and Australia. The fees they're earning are ridiculously more than us. So it can be done, but you've got to charge it. You've got to charge the right fee and be selling the right houses. I think largely probably what will happen with the self-employed model, it's still on the rise. It will continue to rise. If it means in a dream world, if the really crap estate agents tend to be the corporates, and then there's some really bad independents as well. If it makes them better, that they suddenly start losing some money and market share, it's good for the industry. So I'm not going to knock it, because if it improves my industry and it's an industry that frustrates me at times, then I don't think that's fair. So no, I think it'd be good, not for everyone, but I think it's just being wary. Anyone that's sold that dream is really having a look, because you probably won't bring in any money for 9 months. That's the thing is in our industry, we get paid 1% commission. I get paid it upon completion. So there's also properties that never complete. But also, say if it takes us maybe around a month to find a buyer, that's the goal time. The most money is usually found between 2 and 4 weeks on the market. So say if it takes you a month to find a buyer, then if there's no onward chain, it's maybe 3 months to get it through conveyancing, probably more like 4. Or if you choose a really crappy solicitor, you're going to be more like 6. And you don't get any money until then. So you're going to have some backing because you're also going to be shelling out money, whether it's on Rightmove, whether it's on premises, petrol, all these kind of things. For sale boards, they're not free.
Yeah.
But hopefully if it raises standards, I'm for it.
And what's your thoughts on, I know we touched on Rightmove earlier. You were saying like their fees are a lot. What's your thoughts on that? Because I'm seeing a lot on social media where agents are trying to come together to sue Rightmove, and because there are extortionate their fees are. Do you feel like it's because they've got the edge on the market?
Yeah, I think I've flip-flopped a little bit on this. I think there was a period where I was very anti-Rightmove. I think the difficult bit is that I'm able to do things that I couldn't do without them. The bit, sometimes when you want competition though, but then I look at like Sky, is we thought when BT came along, we'd be like, great, it'd be competition for Sky. But all that happened is you still pay your Sky and now you're paying your BT as well. Yeah. So is it a bit better the devil you know? There is also, and fair play to Rightmove, there's some really good training resources that you have with your products. So it's a difficult one. Would I like them to be cheaper? Of course I would. I'm a bit annoyed at the amount of profit that they make, yes. So to me, it's not clear cut. They do bring a lot of value, but I think the main problem was, and I won't name and shame, but it was our account manager for Rightmove just said, well, house prices have gone up, so our fees have gone up. And it's like, yeah, but your fees have gone up way more than house prices have gone up. So I could understand if they tracked it with like, we're bringing in more money, great, then Rightmove on a bit more, that's fine. But I think as an example, it was something like, I don't know whether our fee went up 10% and the house prices have gone up 3%. So you kind of like, it's not really accurate. So that didn't sit well with me. But then I'm also a big believer in what can I do about it? I can piss, whinge and moan about it and it won't change.
It's only like us with Airbnb.
Yeah.
Airbnb have got the corner of the market, but we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
But we find ways where sometimes we can.
Yeah.
So there are direct bookings every now and then. I know sometimes you might sell off market, but your Rightmove's a monthly payment anyway. And
that's the kind of thing is sometimes it's they help me pay my mortgage and put food on the table. So I'm not going to slag them off. But yes, if there's a sale, I'd be intrigued. I've probably never done the maths in terms of there's a house that we're dealing with at the moment that's probably likely to sell off market. It won't ever go on Rightmove. The client's got 50 grand above what we're going to list it at. So it's a great result for everyone. We'll save a bit of money on Rightmove on that. That's not the motivating factor behind it. And you just got to work with it.
Well, I think we're coming up to an end. Let's have one. What's one of your favourite quotes? A man of your calibre should be able to come up with something good.
One of my... I don't know whether it's a quote or it's a saying I have where it's kind of don't take criticism from someone that you won't go to for advice. So we'll have a lot on social media when we post stuff. I think there was one the other day that was like, I don't know, some Sharon will be kind of there going like the kitchen shit or something like that. Sometimes it can be difficult to not go and type on and say, fuck off. But it's generally the thing is, I don't try to really listen too much to people that I won't go to for advice. It's again, there is a property, spin it back onto property. It's like with negative feedback on viewings, and fair enough, if the property is just not for them, that's understandable. But one of the big things we'll say to clients on negative feedback is just have a glancing look at it. Don't pay too much attention to it, because most of the time it's something you can't do anything about. We need a bigger garden. That's fine. This isn't for you. So I'd go with that.
Cool. And is there any way, if anybody's selling a property, they can reach you?
Oh yeah, I've not thought about this. But yeah, so our website, cockerandcarr.co.uk. And then if you want to email me, my email address is Thom, but I'm a bit of a dick, so it's Thom with a H, Thom, at cockerandcarr.co.uk. Or if you send a message to us on Facebook or Instagram, I'm sure we'll put the handles. Do people say handles?
Possibly
Account?
possibly your era.
Yeah.
What makes you a dick? Because there's a H in your name.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Brilliant.
It's the kind of thing. I am Thomas by full, and I was a big Radiohead fan when I was a kid, and Tom York spells his with a H, so I went with that.
All right, sound. Right, well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me, mate.
No problem, appreciate you. See you soon.